You lift your shirt in front of the mirror, turn to the side, contract your stomach, and feel that dry tightness in your chest. Nothing again. You did sit-ups yesterday. You did them last week. You did them that whole month when you swore that this time it would be different. And your stomach is still exactly there, the same way, stubborn as if all that effort had evaporated into thin air. Maybe you've already counted to 100 lying on the living room floor. Maybe you've already felt your neck burn much more than your abdomen. Maybe you've already woken up with a twinge in your lower back, and that strange feeling of having tired yourself out for absolutely nothing. It's tiring. It's more tiring than the exercise itself. And here comes the part that almost no one dares to tell you. The problem was never your willpower. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined. You were taught to train your abs in a way that the human body simply doesn't respond well to. The fitness industry has sold the image of someone doing hundreds of quick repetitions for decades, and that image is stuck in everyone's head. But quick, tension-free repetition is practically empty movement. The muscle gets used to it in a few days, stops receiving new stimuli, and enters what physiologists call an adaptive plateau, when the body no longer needs to transform itself to handle that task. There's another point no one told you. The abdomen isn't a movement muscle like the biceps. It's primarily a stabilizing muscle. Its main function is to hold your torso in place while the rest of your body moves. Training a stabilizer with rapid repetitions is like trying to learn to balance a tray by swinging your arms as fast as possible. The movement is wrong from the start, no matter how much effort you put into it. In other words, you didn't fail. The method failed you, so forget about endless counting. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the only 3 exercises your abs really need to become firm, strong, and visible, all done at home, without any equipment, without noise, and without a cold floor on your back. Each one targets a different function of your core, and that's precisely why they work together. Pay special attention to the 3rd one. It's the simplest of all, takes less than a minute, and is the most ignored by practically everyone who trains at home. The first one is called the conscious tension board. The problem it solves is the most common of all: a weak abdomen on the inside and loose on the outside. You know that belly that appears even in thin people? That slight forward projection that doesn't disappear even when you hold your breath? Most of the time it's not fat, it's a lack of internal support. There's a muscle called the transverse abdominis, and it's the deepest layer of your abdominal wall. Think of it as a natural belt that wraps around your entire torso, from ribs to hips. When this belt is active, it compresses the internal organs inward, and your waist becomes visibly firmer. When it's dormant, the belly simply falls forward, even with little fat there. And the traditional abdominal exercise, the one with quick up and down movements, barely activates this muscle. It works the rectus abdominis on the surface and leaves the deep belt intact. The key point is that deep muscles don't respond to speed. They respond to time under tension. Here's what you do. Support yourself on your forearms and the balls of your feet, elbows under your shoulders, body forming a straight line from head to heel. Now comes what changes everything. Instead of just standing still waiting for time to pass, you contract. Pull your navel towards your spine as if you were fastening an invisible belt. Squeeze your glutes tightly and tuck your hips slightly down, removing the curve from your lower back. You will feel a different, deeper, almost uncomfortable burning sensation. That's exactly the right feeling. Start with 3 sets of 20 seconds at this maximum tension. 20 seconds of really squeezing is worth more than 2 minutes of unintentionally leaning against the body. When 20 seconds becomes comfortable, increase to 30, then 40. Never exceed 1 minute. If you manage to go beyond that, it's a sign that you've stopped contracting and started resting on your elbows. It's not about enduring, it's about squeezing. The second one is called slow leg descent. This solves the problem that frustrates people the most at home, the lower abdominal region, that strip just below the navel that seems immune to any workout. It's important to clarify something here. There isn't a separate muscle called the lower abdomen. The rectus abdominis is a single muscle sheet, from the sternum to the pubis. What exists are fibers in the lower portion that are hardly recruited when you do the classic torso lift movement. Lifting the torso shortens the upper part. To activate the lower part, the movement needs to come from the hips towards the ribs, not the other way around. That's why you can do 300 regular sit-ups and still feel that flabby area. And there's a second, even more important mechanism here. When you lower your legs slowly, your abdomen works in eccentric contraction, meaning it lengthens while still holding the weight. Exercise physiology studies show that the eccentric phase generates more controlled microtears in the fibers, and it's by repairing these microtears that the muscle becomes denser and more defined. The descent is where the result happens. Most people just lower their legs and miss out on the part that matters. Here's how to do it. Lie on your back, hands by your sides with palms facing down. First, Press your lower back against the floor. If you can reach under your back and there's space, you haven't quite got it right yet. Raise both legs until they form a 90-degree angle with your torso. Now lower them, counting to 5 seconds, very slowly, until your heels are a hand's width from the floor. Hold there for a moment and return to the starting position in 2 seconds. If your lower back lifts off the floor at any point, you've gone beyond your current limit. Bend your knees slightly and reduce the range of motion. 3 sets of 8 repetitions done correctly. 8, not 80. Slow and steady wins the race because it works better. The third one is called the anti-rotation break. This is the exercise that nobody does, and it completely changes your silhouette. The problem it solves is a wide waist and an unstable torso. Your obliques, the muscles on the sides of your abdomen, weren't designed primarily to rotate your torso. They were designed to prevent it from rotating when some force tries to push it. This has a name, anti-rotational function. It's the same mechanism that keeps you upright when someone bumps into you on the bus, or that stabilizes your spine when you're carrying a heavy bag only in your right hand. When this function is weak, your torso constantly compensates with your lower back, and your waist loses that firm lateral line. And here's the irony. The most popular exercise for obliques, that seated weighted rotation, does almost the opposite. It trains repeated rotation under load, which overloads the lumbar discs and thickens the area without improving actual stability. Training the break is worth more than training the rotation. Here's how to do it. Get into a high plank position with your arms extended, hands under your shoulders, and feet slightly wider than usual. The wider your stance, the more stable you'll be at the beginning. Now lift one hand off the ground and slowly touch the opposite shoulder. Return to the starting position. Touch with the other hand. The goal isn't to touch quickly. The goal is for your hips not to sway even an inch from side to side while your hand is in the air. Imagine a glass full of water resting on your lower back. If it spills, you're twisting too much. 3 sets of 10 touches on each side at a slow and controlled pace. Less swing, more waist. And this is exactly where most people get stuck. You now have 3 correct exercises, but the abdomen is just one piece of a much larger game. Abdominal definition depends on what happens with your hormones, your sleep, the time you eat, and the signals your body receives throughout the day. That's exactly why I created the White Protocol, a practical guide for those who want to lose weight or gain muscle, integrating what neuroscience, physiology, and behavioral psychology have already discovered about the human body, and what no personal trainer has ever taught you. If you think you need a gym, expensive supplements, or an extreme diet to transform your body, you're wrong. Real transformation is triggered by biological mechanisms that most people completely ignore. Contrary to what the fitness industry sells, the body doesn't respond to simple rules. It responds to signals, rhythms, and hormones. And if you want to unlock your results and build the body you've always wanted, click the link in the bio or the pinned comment and get the White Protocol now. When you understand the rules, you're in control of the game. Now let's put it all together, because order matters more than it seems. The 3 exercises form a circuit: conscious tension plank, slow leg descent, anti-rotation break. Rest 40 seconds between each exercise and repeat the circuit 3 times. The entire workout takes 10 to 12 minutes. And no, you don't need to do this every day. Abdominal muscles behave like any other muscle in the body. They grow during recovery, not during exertion. 3 to 4 times a week, on alternate days, delivers more results than 7 consecutive days of repeated stimulus and 0 recovery. And one last truth, said with affection and without beating around the bush: abdominal strength and a visible abdomen are different things. These 3 exercises build structure, firmness, and support. The layer of fat that covers this structure responds mainly to what you eat, your sleep, and your stress level. Chronically high cortisol, that hormone that rises with sleepless nights and a hectic routine, favors the accumulation of fat in the abdominal region. So train the muscle here and take care of the rest outside. The 2 paths need to go hand in hand. 12 minutes, 3 movements, no equipment. Now tell me in the comments, which of the 3 will you try first? The conscious tension plank, the slow leg descent, or the anti-rotation break? Write it below, because I read and respond. And if you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is already tired of trying the wrong way. That tiredness is good. It's the beginning. Click the link in my bio, secure your White Protocol, and stop fighting against your own body. Start working with it today. You don't need more effort. You need the right path.